and I also want to, just again give a shout out to Speaker Sakachi. He's been in the front lines on housing, and as I mentioned this morning with at the 211, celebration at the State House, that he's a tough guy to keep up with, Speaker, but I'm doing my best, and I think that some of the things that we're getting done here really reflect a great partnership with yourself, along with President Ruggiero and the senators as well. So thank you for here. And then Mayor Smiley, clearly, I just want to give him a real shout out here. Being a community that was willing to step up and to really show leadership here, Mayor, thank you very much for that. And we need all our municipal leaders to do the same in all the communities. And I'm out visiting, whether it's a shelter in Pawtucket, which I think is a really good model that I want to duplicate, throughout the state, or up in Woonsocket with Mayor Beauchamp, or I visited the West Warwick facilities as well, to get your feet on the ground and talk to people that are experienced in this housing crisis in their lives. So we're going to continue to do that, and also directly with the Crossroads as well. Visited there and saw the facilities that they're building, and made a commitment that as they move into their new facility, that we will put our state resources into the the retrofitting of that of the Y there that they've been using for years. So I think that that's really about what we're talking about here. But we finalized, and this has taken longer than expected. But again, this site, it's just like when you build a new development, no utilities, needing groundwork that needed to be done. So it was like having a development right from scratch. And I said, longer than we expected, but now we can look forward to the what's going to happen here, Laura, and with your leadership and with your team for years to come. And it's also a great example of other ways that we can introduce to other communities exactly what Mayor Smiley made happen here today. So we know it's a complicated issue. Since I've been governor, the number of beds available to people experiencing homelessness has grown by 60%. Still got a ways to go, but I'm determined to actually check that box off, in the near future. We went from 800 beds to over 1,300 beds. We also have on the drawing board. I'll be at Charles Gate tomorrow, and we're looking at expanding the number of units there by up to 40 additional units there as well, over and above what's currently there. So we know that the urgency's there. Echo Village is geared toward helping those who have not always been successful with other shelter options, and we need to be flexible in making sure that we're putting it front and center in our efforts as we look at all housing, where we need to make sure that these are good transitional strategies, but we also kind of will work for that permanent area and helping people with employment that are looking for employment, that are struggling with housing right now. So it's a place where people they look for permanent housing, and Laura and I have talked about that, and the way that she's got the idea of doing something that's different than anything else in the state, and it's worth. This has been a great opportunity to show a pilot that actually can work as we try to achieve, the goals that we have throughout the state with our Rhode Island 2030 plan, right? Which is about raising education outcomes, is about raising incomes, raising strategies for people to be able to get a piece of the pie, a piece of American dream, and I think that's what we're working for, and making sure we're healthy enough to enjoy this. So. Today, we are officially adding this to the portfolio of options for Rhode Island's homeless community, options that include beds for families to be safer together safely, beds for those with substance use issues. I see Kathy out there, thank you for your leadership, appreciate it very much. As our first executive director of the addiction effort in lowering the addiction rates in the state of Rhode Island. Beds for those escaping domestic violence, beds for those who are newly homeless, and beds for those who are chronically homeless. I'll add to that beds for individuals that are transition out of incarceration as well. These are all areas we need to invest in, and we're committed to do that. So there are too many people in Rhode Island and in the nation who can't count on having a warm bed to sleep in on a nightly basis. I really give a big shout out to our courts here in Rhode Island for leading the charge to really be pushing back against what's happening in D.C. And trying to take away funding. The way family, Rhode Island sends more money to Washington than we get back, and yet here we are, you know, in a position where we have to play, you know, put all our efforts into getting exactly what the state deserves, and I'm glad that our courts are really standing up in a national way to push back against what's happening with the policies and some of the executive orders that President Trump has signed. So that's why our Department of Housing is actively working to be a partner, and that's exactly what I believe we have here, a partnership. So thank you, congratulations, Laura. Looking forward to working with you and making this pilot a very successful one that actually can be duplicated in other areas of the state. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor.
Yep.